Well, it's wonderful to follow after Lisa and Austin because we start to see what it really is in the future and what are the things that our businesses, what can we expect and what can we know for the future on how we need to act. This next session here, what I really want to do is just really put into context some of the planning and governance initiatives that are already going on, because I really feel that as many of you in this room have contributed, we have a lot going on here, and as John pointed out, it's always nice to have somebody from the outside kind of look at it and say, wow, you guys are doing an awful lot, there's a lot going on, and as many of you know, I'll often say that Rhode Island is great because we're small and agile, and to be able to put everybody in the room today is one of the great benefits of working here. So, because Senator Whitehouse couldn't be here, I'm gonna bring him in once again, because as many of you know, his context for Rhode Island is that Rhode Island is much bigger at low tide. And as Dennis pointed out yesterday, that came from T.F. Green in the Senate. So let's come back a little bit let's review a little bit of what's gone on over the past year. We've all been very busy, and I say we all because many of you are in this room that made all of this happen. From an executive order to create the EC3, the Executive Climate Change Council, to developing a legislation for resilient Rhode Island, and then to moving it forward and creating the Executive Climate Change Coordinating Council. I'm not sure I got all those C's in the right place, but EC4. And I'm happy to say that Janet, the current chair, is here with us, and Carla is on that council as well, and others here. So there's been a lot going on, and then not only have they been meeting, but the group, together with a lot of assistants, put together this report. And really is a call to action and an action plan outlining many different things that are going on. And it's very impressive. Not only did they put it out, but then in November it came out with an update of what's been done throughout the year. Just to really note here that the key themes and principles for the EC4 are really profound. It's about resilience. It's about bouncing back, it's about being positive, and it's about our strengths. It's about practical problem solving, not about debate here. Debate about good things, about how to move forward, but let's not debate about the past. It really is about mitigation and adaptation. So that's really important because they go hand in hand. It's not one or the other. And it really is all about the economy, as well as the environment and public health. We can't do one without the other. It's really moving ahead in business and innovation, and it's all about coordination and collaboration. And with the whole premise that waiting is really unaffordable. I'm just going to say one last thing here. Clearly, they have a lot ahead of them, and right now there are some advisory committees that are being named, and so more people have the opportunity to be involved. And even those that aren't formally involved, they have meetings on a regular basis, once a month, I believe, Janet?
Yes.
And those are always open to the public and really quite informative. So please do check them out. Economically, I'm an engineer. I work with numbers a lot, but I'm not an economist and I don't remember numbers. And quite honestly, it's really hard for me to balance my checkbook. But in any case, I am here to say that there's been a lot going on through many of you participating in a variety of conversations. The Economic Intersections of Rhode Island, this is a great document, and it really speaks to a lot of the different sectors in Rhode Island. And it's shared with us as Rhode Island Marine Trades Association has brought out $1.3 billion in direct spending here in this state from marine trades and recreational boating. 7,100 direct jobs. That's quite profound. And then for travel and tourism, that's the fourth largest employer, private sector employer in the state. And I was reading in here that 1 of every 10 Rhode Islanders are associated with the tourism business. And they came out with a document. I'd encourage you to look through it. It really is a nice review about understanding economic development in times of climate change. So it's something to really think about, and that helped to shape some of our discussions today. The Shoreline Change Special Area Management Plan, the beach SAMP, some of you, I'm sure most of you have heard about it. It's not only a South County project. This is statewide, and it's really important. It's a public process that really helps to develop innovative and practical tools and policies, led by the Coastal Resources Management Council in collaboration with the university and many others. I see in the audience here our Committee for Coastal Leaders, the COPL. And so we do have a variety of different boards and municipalities engaged as well. And that's really about providing new data, getting the best tools and practices, educating and public outreach, and incorporating smart policies. Through that initiative, we have just gone through every coastal community in the state, and we have 150 maps that map out what sea level rise looks like with on your salt marshes. So those maps are available on CRMC's website. And then, as Austin just pointed out, we have new overlays and storm tools, really looking at sea level rise, storm, and many different layers. Different assessments for assessing key assets, from water to wastewater to roads. Teresa Crean will talk a little bit later about how local comprehensive plans are incorporating climate change, and we have models from North Kingstown and other places are starting to incorporate. Advancing green infrastructure, you'll hear more about that later, but we have a very active coalition here led by Meg Kerr and Lauren Carson and many others participating. And then engaging businesses from an initiative up in Providence, Rhode Island Business Alliance, to efforts here in Newport that were spoken about briefly before, about really engaging businesses in climate change. And one last thing that is not up here, Paul Carroll from Newport would love to share with you some of his learnings about business innovation and the creation of their innovation hub surrounding these kinds of issues. Sharing tools from the property guide you can get out there to Fortify, which is a Code Plus program you'll hear about later. And then informing and engaging the public. A variety of different initiatives, from Resilient Rhode Island to the Beach SAMP, and then Rhode Island ClimateChange.org, some great resources for you all. And finally, one last thing that is really important. Austin pointed out that some of his students here at URI will be displaying some posters later during the reception. We've, at URI and then also at Brown, as well as Roger Williams, and most of the universities are really out there in the communities and with the businesses, very much helping to deal with this issue, and they are part of the context. So it's really wonderful that really educating our next generation, because these are the folks who are having the babies that are there until 2020. So they have a real interest. So that's really where we're at in Rhode Island. There's a lot going on, and this is just one more opportunity for us to add that on to another ball on the Christmas tree.